Welcome back, everyone, to Ferris Sports Update. Bulldog hockey is right around the corner, and with us today is head coach Bob Daniels. Coach, your team hits the ice this weekend, an exhibition game on Sunday against the University of Toronto. I know you're excited to get the season rolling.
Boy, I sure am, Rob. And you know what? You never want to wish away a summer. You don't want that to go too quickly. But you know, you get to about August and you're really ready for hockey, and at least I am. And certainly this year's no different. So we're looking forward to Sunday. Looking forward to really getting an opportunity to see our freshmen in action. And we've got a lot of different players in different positions from a year ago. So really looking forward to the contest at the start of the year.
I know, first of all, you mentioned the summer. It was a busy summer in terms of college hockey. And talk about where you guys are at as a program, maybe with the WCHA coming into play in a couple years.
Sure. Well, you know, it's all started a year ago when Penn State announced they were going to start hockey, and that necessitated the Big Ten now had 6 teams that sponsored ice hockey. And with their bylaws, that necessitated the fact that there would be a Big Ten hockey league with 6 schools now fielding hockey programs. So with that, it started a shakeup in all of college hockey. And you know, throughout the summer, different teams from both the CCHA and WCHA were moving and forming different leagues. We are very excited about the opportunity that presented itself to us. And in 2 years, we will be playing in the WCHA. And against a lot of familiar teams. Certainly we'll have Northern Michigan and Lake State still in our conference, as well as Alaska Fairbanks. But we're also going to be adding Michigan Tech, which I'm really excited about. Their storied tradition in the program, as well as Mankato State and Bemidji State. So you know what, I'm very appreciative too of the efforts that Perk Weisenberger, our athletic director, as well as Dave Eisler, the president of Ferris State, and Jerry Scobie, the vice president of administration and finance, their efforts this summer to make sure we were housed in a good league and we're committed to Division I college hockey, really, I think, laid all the groundwork for the good situation we're going to find ourselves in.
I know you hope to find yourselves in a good situation this season as we turn our attention back to the year that's coming up. First practice on Saturday. You hit the ice on Sunday. Talk about the quick turnaround time there and getting prepared to play on Sunday.
Well, it is quick, but it is and it isn't. Hockey's unusual that way. For one thing, we're in terrific shape, and Dave Sensor, our strength and conditioning coach, has done an outstanding job. We've been able to get a little bit of on-ice time with the players under NCAA rules. We're seeing some highlights of that right now. In a limited way. We've also had meetings, playbook meetings, and we've been doing a lot of on-ice conditioning, which is allowable under NCAA rules as long as we're not practicing. So with all that said, you know, we're ready for an exhibition game on Sunday. Even though we only have our first official practice on Saturday, we are ready for an exhibition on Sunday. You know, we want to win, but really that's secondary to getting as many players in as we can. We're going to rotate all 3 goalies. Each one will get a period. And we're just using it. It almost replaces what used to be our inter-squad game years ago.
I know you mentioned the goalie. You've got to replace a couple All-Americans, one of them being Pat Nagel in goal, along with Zach Redmond. Talk about the task of trying to replace those 2 players.
Well, that's going to be monumental, but it is every year. We always seem to graduate key players. Last year was no different. You know, you could include Scotty Waiteka and Todd Pocock and Mike Embach in that grouping, as well as Mike Fillinger. So there was a lot of good players we lost, but in net, I'm not too worried. We have Taylor Nelson returning. Taylor has played quite a bit of hockey, certainly his first year and a half, his freshman and sophomore year. Last year, Pat Nagel really carried the load. But I'm expecting and hoping that Taylor Nelson will return to the form that he showed his first year and a half, where his numbers were pretty much identical to Pat Nagel's numbers. When we also have a freshman by the name of C.J. Mott that's joined our program, and he's going to give Taylor a run for his money. He's a good goaltender. He comes in, you know, highly sought after by a number of schools. We're fortunate to get him here at Ferris. And then they'll all be backstopped by Rob Granite, who'll be with the program for his 2nd year. But I have full faith that, you know, we're going to end up and realize good goaltending. Same with on defense. Now, we've got a number of players returning that I think, given the opportunity to play, can make up for the loss of Waiteka and Redmond. And that would be Chad Billens, extremely good offensive defenseman, Wysopal, Derek Graham, and Michael Trebish. So we have a number of good defensemen. Sky Zarnowski, who was our freshman a year ago, and then we brought in obviously some 3 freshman defensemen that will round out the grouping. But I'm pretty confident. There'll be an area keeping pucks out of our net. That'll be a bit of a challenge. But I'm confident that as the season progresses, you'll see we'll be strong defensively.
Obviously, your defense and your goaltending can be helped by a good offense. Talk about the offensive side of things and who you might be counting on to be some of your top goal scorers on the year.
Well, that's where I see a big improvement from a year ago. We look at defense, and that's going to be an area where we're going to have to grow into it. And on offense, we return an awful lot of our players, and I look for some big years out of Aaron Schmidt, Matt Kersinger, Travis Willett, Eric Alexander. We have a lot of depth in our forward positions. We're hoping to see some development out of players like Corey Kane and Andy Huff and some of the freshmen a year ago, but we really feel like the strength of our team could be offense, and it's been a few years since we've had that, and I'm excited about that. With the experience we have up there, it should allow us to do some things that we haven't been able to do in the past. So as in all years, I think early on we'll be up and down a little bit, but I think by the time we hit Christmas, we should should be hitting our stride.
After Sunday's exhibition game against Toronto at 3:05, you hit the ice next weekend. You're on the road the first weekend at St. Lawrence. You come home to face RPI. Talk about the early season schedule and what type of challenge that presents.
Well, we're just excited about the early season. We've got a couple things planned. One, on our way to St. Lawrence, we're going to stop and practice at the MasterCard Center in Toronto. That the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's their facility. We'll get a tour of the facility. We'll be able to skate. Dave Pullen, the Vice President of Hockey Operations, is going to give a lecture to our players. We're also hosting an alumni lunch there, so we have a lot of alums in the Toronto area, so that's going to be a great trip. And then obviously St. Lawrence, we played them a year ago. I know their head coach, Joe Marsh. He's been in the game, college hockey, for a number of years. Their team's going to work really, really hard, and they return almost their entire team, so that'll be a big challenge. The following weekend, we have RPI coming to visit, and they're coached by Seth Appert, a Ferris alum. He played goal for us, as well as coached a year with the Ferris program. And that's homecoming weekend, and we have an alumni reception for players from that era coming in. Keith Surgott, a past Ferris State hockey player, will be refereeing that game. He played at the same time Seth did, so the league was kind enough to book him that weekend here. So it's going to be a terrific weekend. It's Parents' Weekend too. And in regard to the actual hockey game, again, I think RPI, with the players that are returning, will probably have a leg up on us to start the year due to experience. But we're looking for games in these first 4 that will really get us prepared for CCHA action down the road.
You talk about CCHA play, a number of big games at home, single game tickets going on sale this week. You've got Miami coming in first, Michigan State this season, Notre Dame. Really a good home schedule for the fans. Yeah,
terrific home schedule. And I looked, the last 2 years we've been an upper division team in the CCHA standings. We hope to do that again as well. But it's going to be a challenge, like it is every year. That it's so competitive. And you look, like you said, Notre Dame, Miami were both picked to probably be in the top 3 in the league, probably both top 5 teams in the nation. So it's going to be great hockey at Ava Glaben Ice Arena, and I would encourage the fans to get their tickets early, because as usual, if you wait too long, you may be shut out.
Well, Coach, best of luck as you get started this weekend and throughout the year, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Rob, thanks.
When we come back, we'll talk Bulldog tennis here on Ferris Sports Update. Stay with us.